All praises to the horizon, peace, wealth, and wisdom. It's the wise one here, Mr. Salisu Seer. Today I want to do this video for you guys called Cycles. Cycles being circles, 360 degrees. Life is all circles, or cycles. A year, this is complete circle. A day is the same, a complete circle. And so all you have in life is circles. They complete cycles. Completing a cycle is a good thing. Being bound to it is another. And so I want to explain in depth to you guys the knowledge of circles. Because many of us become bound to the circles we create. Now I want you guys to think. If someone is walking in a circle, the mind becomes bound to the circle. Meaning if you walk in a circle right now, you will begin to become dizzy. And if you continue walking in that circle, you will become more dizzy. This is your mind kind of becoming bound to the circle that the body is walking. Now, my point of saying that, I want you to see how the movement of the body can affect the movement of the mind and vice versa. This is why it's important that, everyone let the mind. You kind of have to let the mind control, lest the body will control, and the mind will become bound to the body's movements. And usually that's not good. Meaning, if you're moving in a circle, and so you begin to get dizzy in the mind, that's what I mean by that's not good. And so I gave you guys that little example so that you can grasp how deep circles are and how we live circles. Meaning everything you do in this life is a matter of 360 degrees. Are a circle. And so it's very important to understand when you start a thing, when you finish a thing, to move on. Because you can become bound in the circle. Give you an example. A man gets an idea to create a building or a piece of artwork. And so it starts with the idea. Then he puts the time and energy into creating that idea. This is your middle. After that, he will be done. And so he should move on to something else. But a man can become stuck on what he's creating, never finishing. This is how one becomes bound to a circle. It's just like drugs. A person says, hey, I want to experiment with alcohol because I'm an adult now. And so you can't drink when you're a child. So I want to try it now. And so they get the idea. Then they take the actions or the steps to drink. They drink. They get to experience drinking. And then they don't stop and move on. But they become bound to that circle. In that, this is how addiction is created. Addiction is created from circles, meaning you continuously doing the same thing, which will consist of a circle. But I don't want you to get confused in thinking that repeating the same things are bad. This is not what I'm saying. But I'm saying in life, all things are circles. Some of these circles are good. And so you need to keep, going in that circle. And say if you wake up every day and you kind of sit for a minute with yourself, pray, cleanse out the inner, self. Like I like to call it, spiritual cleansing, give your spirit a little bath before you start your day. Well, this is a circle that one may do every day, and I wouldn't see anything wrong with them being bound to the humble parts of themselves. The appreciative parts of themselves. Then you have other things as well. And so these are the things you do not want to become bound to. Why? Get stuck in the cycle or the circle of whatever it is you're indulging in or involving yourself in. This goes with love, hate, everything. It's like 50 Cent. 50 Cent used beefing with Ja Rule and them as an idea to make himself popular, famous. It worked. He did not stop. He became bound, to keep bothering them. In that brought him down. It's just the natural effects of life. Creating a circle is fine. When you become bound to the circle, so the circle is like a toilet bowl. Once a thing is spinning, so it spirals down. Why? You have gravity. This is physical life. And so all a man is indulging in is physical things. And so when that spiral or that circle begins to go, well, he begins to go down with it. And so circles, cycles, these things are very important. It's more than just 360 days in a year. It's more than just 24 hours in a day. It's more than just you repeating a thing, but truly becoming bound. Meaning once the mind becomes bound to this circle, it's hard to unshake it. I'm going to go back to that example I gave you guys with you walking in a circle and then the mind begins to start to circle. You become dizzy. We all know this feeling. You walk in a circle as a child. Next thing you know, the mind gets dizzy. You can't even see no more. You become bound to that circle in the mind. Meaning your legs have stopped walking in the circle, but your mind, your head, it's still spinning as if you're in the circle. And so I want you guys to all use that example, because this is how the mind is on all things. Meaning the same way you walk in a circle and then the mind kind of becomes disoriented and trapped in that circle. Of course, when you stop walking in the circle and then you wait a little while, so then your mind will snap back to its straightforward way of thinking, so to say. Some people, their minds work backwards, meaning they pull most of their emotions and thoughts from the past. But in any event, so it takes a time of you stopping. Meaning, if you fall in love with somebody, and then your relationship run its course, you can still become stuck in that circle of love with them. Meaning, it's over. You're like, man, this relationship is over. But I still love them. I cannot seem to let go. You get it? This is a result of the mind. The mind is like you've been running in a circle. And so now you've stopped and come to the realization, man, this relationship is over. I've fulfilled whatever it is that needed to be fulfilled. But the mind is like, disoriented now. And so it's just like when you walk in a circle, you have to stop and understand that your mind is still going to spin until it kind of, stops. It's the same with all other things we do that create circles. Our cycles, our addictions, it's all the same. It's a matter of giving the mind a chance, to unspiral. Meaning, let's say you're addicted to drugs. You say, man, I can't seem to quit. Well, it's a matter of understanding what I just explained. You can't stop because the mind is caught in that cycle you've created. In that, you have to give the mind a chance, meaning the body has to stop This will give the mind a chance to stop. If you're running in a circle, you do not give your mind a chance to stop spinning. And so you will become dizzy and disoriented, and it won't stop until you physically stop. When you physically stop, then you have to give the mind a chance to catch up. You get it? When you first started walking in a circle, the mind wasn't dizzy and disoriented, but it did eventually become one with the movement. And so when the movement stops, you have to give the mind a chance to catch up. This is why it's important that we lead with our minds. We fall in love with our bodies, our hearts, our private areas. We do not fall in love. I apologize, I'm outdoors. We do not fall in love using the mind, but we fall in love using the body. And that, you kind of become bound, as I explained. And of course, when one becomes bound, it takes a while to unravel the consciousness. And so be very, very, very aware of the circles that one creates. Because all circles, or all walks of life that we take, they create a pattern. If you're not understanding what I'm saying, when you're walking, a pattern is created. You don't see it. You walk from your house to the store. A pattern is created that you do not see. And so let's say you walk to the same route to the same store every day. You have created a pattern in the mind. The mind will automatically kind of start to push the body to do the same thing that it's doing. And so this is where control comes in. You want to always change your routes. This will help you change your mind. This is why it's important to see different environments, new surroundings, so that the mind does not become bound. This is not good. One must move forward in life. In any event, it's the wise one. Peace, wealth, and wisdom.
Geo, check. Check.
All praises to the horizon. Peace, wealth, and wisdom. It's the wise one here, Mr. Salasu said. In the Bible it says, it was dark and void. God said, let there be light, and it was good. Says Adam was alone. God made Eve, and it was good. What is good? What does God mean by it was good? God meant this. It was dark and void, and God said, let there be the opposite, which is light. And it was good. Balance is good. Adam was alone. Adam is a man. God said, let's make Eve, which is the opposite. Balance. And it was good. When God says it was good, he is speaking of balance. Not what man calls good and bad, but balance. It's a very deep.
For a small fee, join Solace private channel for better content and a more in-depth understanding. Solace is a master scholar of ancient texts